Welcome back to Power in the Pause. I'm your host, Chelsea, and this is the space where we slow down, breathe for a second, and remember that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is pause. And today, sis, I want to share something that I came across. Recently, I read that psychology suggests one of the rarest forms of mental strength right now isn't resilience or grit. It's actually the ability to sit with uncertainty. And the more I reflected on that idea, reflected on all my interpersonal experience from classroom to the counseling chair, the more I kept thinking, yeah, that tracks. Because really, most people aren't actually struggling with their lives as they are in this moment. They're struggling with not knowing what comes next, not knowing how things will turn out, not knowing if they made the right decision, not knowing what the outcome will be. And our mind doesn't really tolerate well to that space of unknowing. So, what happens is we try to resolve it internally. And what that looks like is we're overthinking, we're ruminating, we analyze, we replay conversations over and over. We try to anticipate every possible outcome, thinking that we can regain some kind of sense of control. But uncertainty itself isn't actually the problem, sis. It's the discomfort we have with not having an answer, with not having that self trust and intrinsic reassurance, because I don't know, can feel like a threat when the nervous system is looking for certainty and we can't find it within ourselves. It can create urgency where there isn't actually danger. And in that urgency, we often move away from grounded decision making and toward mental overprocessing. But something important to notice is this: people who tend to feel most stable emotionally are not the ones who have the most certainty in their lives. They're the ones who have developed the capacity to tolerate uncertainty without abandoning themselves. They don't immediately interpret ambiguity as a problem to fix. They don't rush decisions just to relieve discomfort. They can actually stay present in the unknown long enough to respond rather than react. And that capacity isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something that gets built. So let's take a moment to actually practice that together. If it feels okay, I'd like to invite you to gently bring your attention to your breath. Soften your shoulders if you can and your jaw, and just notice yourself here. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a moment at the top, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Again, inhale, hold, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, hold, exhale. And just notice there's nothing you need to solve in this moment. No urgency required right now. It's just you here. All right, coming back. So maybe the skill we're really talking about isn't eliminating uncertainty, it's building the internal capacity to remain grounded inside of it without over identifying the discomfort, without rushing toward premature answers, without disconnecting from yourself in the process. Because sometimes the pause isn't about clarity arriving immediately. It's about learning that you can stay connected to yourself even when clarity hasn't arrived yet. Sis, thank you for being with me here today. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with another woman who might be feeling like she's behind, when really she's just in a season where things are still unfolding. And if you want more conversations like this about healing, growth, identity, and stepping into the woman you're becoming, come join me over on Instagram at She Is Society Official. Until next time, remember, there's always power in the pause.